What's up, fellas? I just got an alert on my phone that Jesse Shawver has accepted my trade. Very excited to have some running back help on my team after losing Diddy last week. So those of you who lost some big players, just know maybe you have to be a little more aggressive. But if you're playing for this year, you got to make some moves. So anyway, the first thing I want to do is, while we get started here, I've done absolutely no prep for this show this week, guys. I apologize. Been very busy. It's homecoming here at Yorktown High School. And it's been a busy week with golf. But anyway, no excuses here. I'm going to play like a champion and give you guys the best I can with no prep. So first of all, the standings here. Notice Mr. Luckbox got off to a good start. Has a very good team. Mighty Midgets, Lollipop Guild, Make America Grunt again, Titletown, and Shake and Bake all got wins. So those who didn't, don't worry about it. You just got to be one game over 500 at 7-6, so get you in the playoffs. As long as you have a decent amount of points, at least it has in the past. But again, remember you're playing for those buys. So I want to jump right into this and take a look at the scoreboard. One thing, I wasn't able to get this started before the game last night, but kind of a boring game as probably everybody expected. Before we even get to that, though, I do want to thank our loyal contributor to the show, our sponsor, the people who keep the lights on for me here, and that is the Tesler, Adler, and Whalen Law Firm. We allowed a different sponsor last week, and frankly, it impacted the quality of the show. The funds weren't what we needed, and really the amount of time it took without an acronym to say whatever the immigrant organization Jesse works for, it just was too time consuming. I'll tell you what, though, guys, I'm excited for the exit music today. I know some of you are going to love it, and I want to get into these matchups so we can get to that and we can get you out of here quickly. So here we go. Juice me up against Simply Simple Victory. I just made a trade. Des Bryant is no longer on my team. Neither is David Johnson. They have gone to Jesse's team. I have added what I think are 2 top 10 running backs in an effort to salvage my year. And one of those is going to be Marshawn Lynch this week, who will be on my team. He'll be running against the New York Football Jets. This is the first time that Marshawn has gone back to Oakland. He is playing where he grew up, and I'm very excited about that. I think he can get into the end zone maybe upwards of 3 times. Looking here at this matchup with Tyler, the first thing I notice is Drew Brees in this what could be just a fantastic game. Drew Brees at home against New Orleans. You know New England's going to score, so New Orleans is going to have to score to keep up. Looking at the rest of Tyler's team, don't love his running back matchups. Todd Gurley is kind of struggling. I will never pick myself to win this matchup, but what I will say is I think I like the direction my team's going even after losing Diddy. Tyler, I just think he's still feeling his team out a little bit. T.Y. Hilton obviously he's been impacted by some health. We'll take a look at Ty's bench here real quick. I like Sammy Watkins, and I like some of the possibilities on his bench. But just this week, I don't know that Tyler has the best matchups. That said, he could get a whole bunch from Drew Brees. So I think this will be a really, really close one. I'm excited to see what Cat Eater, Skittles Eater, Marshawn Lynch can do for my team. We will miss Dez, a guy I drafted in the first round, but I think Marshawn looks the same Marshawn, and he's the guy who's going to get touches. So it was a trigger that I felt like I had to pull. Make America Gronk again against Shake and Bake. I actually forgot this matchup was going down until just now. A group of us got together last night. Jason was not able to make it, but he did FaceTime while we were in the hot tub, so that was very nice. Make America Gronk again against Shake and Bake. Let's take a look just position by position what we have. I know these guys actually probably will watch and listen to this visual podcast. So the first thing I like is I never like Kirk Cousins. I never like him on the road. So I'm going to give Trampus a massive edge at quarterback with Derek Carr. Melvin Gordon against Zeke. Zeke at Denver, and this could be a really, really fun game there in that 425 slot. I just hope the football is a higher quality than last week, and I think it will. There's some good games. I'm going to just kind of call that a wash, Melvin Gordon and Zeke there. Jordan Howard, notice Trampus has a couple of questionable tags there. I don't like the way Tennessee's run game looked last week. Jacksonville is trying to become a ball control offense, which more power to them. That AFC South is becoming a very interesting division. So I'm going to give Trampus the edge, whether he slides Fournette up if Howard doesn't play. But that second running back slot, as well as quarterback, I do think Trampus has an advantage. Where Jesse now will have a massive advantage is at wide receiver. And even Des Bryant up against Denver, I think that gives him another option there where he can maybe toggle with his lineup a little bit. Jesse also got Thomas Rawls in this trade. So I think Jesse, one way or another, will have an advantage, whether it be the flex or the wide receiver 2 position. But Jesse has receivers who get in the end zone, which is something that I don't know if Trampus has. And then you have Gronk against Charles Cassius Clay in a pretty good matchup. Carolina, I know they have good linebackers, but they don't always do fantastic in pass coverage. And Charles Clay, statistic I heard from the Fantasy Footballers, another great podcast. They're on daily. Don't listen to them, though. I believe last week Tyrod Taylor targeted receivers 8 times. So in a game that they're playing the Jets. And Charles Clay's going to get a lot of targets. But I think Gronk gets a big-time bounce back this week. I mean, I think it's just a statement game for New England. And New Orleans, they don't play defense. In my opinion, one of the more overrated teams in the NFL in the modern era. And this is going to be just a bruising match. And I really struggle to pick this one. I'm going to pick Trampus because I just think he has a couple guys who could really have big games, namely Gronk. And I love Leonard Fournette. I would love to have Leonard Fournette on my fantasy team, but he's a stud. He's a very, very good player, and he was ready for this. And this will be interesting. I am curious to see how Jesse's roster shakes up after this trade and who he does start this week. But I like Trampus in a close one. Jesse was upset that I didn't pick him last week. I'm not making this my lock of the week, but I like Trampus in that matchup, certainly. Here we have Mighty Midgets and Nathan Sucks These Nuts. I would be surprised if either of these men listen and watch this. Patrick could. So I'll go ahead and break down his team. He has Dak Prescott, who looked like a bum at Denver. Don't like that at all. Think they'll have to get it down on the ground. LaShawn McCoy. The one thing that I did this week is I added Mike Tolbert. I noticed he got a bunch of touches, and we know McCoy's injury prone, but if they're going to give him the ball 30 times a game, he's a top 2 running back until he gets hurt, which will happen. Paul Perkins is a bum. Jordy Nelson's a stud every week. I like this game as well. Sunday night game. Y'all want to stay up for that one at Atlanta in the Dome. I believe this is Atlanta's. This is their new stadium, so it'll be bumping. It'll be rocking in there. It should be a fantastic football game. Martavis Bryant is going to bust out at some point. I'm really concerned with Jordan Reed. That foot doesn't sound good. I like Adam Brandt's team in this one. I like it a lot. I think Ty Montgomery and Matt Ryan at the top of that lineup, as well as Brandon Cooks. I think Adam actually. We thought he reached in the draft, but his team is very, very good. I would trade my team for Adam Brandt's right now. Here we have the Butt Buddies against Mr. Luckbox. Shout to Mr. Luckbox, my representative in life, advocate of all things. He got 7.3 out of Hopkins last night. Hopkins got a lot of targets. See if it'll tell us how many. DeAndre Hopkins is a guy who really has a chance. 13 targets. I think he had 16 last week, so the dude's on pace for 15 a game. What's that, 240 targets? That'd probably be a record. I don't know the record, but that would probably do it. I like Adam's team. And he's just, the Kareem Hunt, as we kind of touched on last week, is just a guy every week who's going to be a top 10 play, just because in that offense, they throw the ball and hand the ball to the running back, and Andy Reid likes to use one. So, you got CJ Spiller there, who all agree is the more talented. But for whatever reason, they're going to stick with Kareem Hunt. And then we like the rest of Adam's team. I like Devonta Freeman to have a better game this week. Looking across the way at the Butt Buddies, Danny and Ryan have been a little bit down on their luck, but take a look at these receivers, man. Amari Cooper and Mike Evans, Colby Fleener with Willie Snead out. You can pretty much count him as a receiver. He's going to get some targets too. I think this could be a sneaky spot for the Butt Buddies. I will not pick them, but I think that this is going to be a little bit interesting. They spent $40 on Buck Allen. I don't know if that is worth it, but he's a talented player they drafted. They've tried to give him the opportunity, but until something drastic happens, it's very difficult for me to pick against Mr. Luckbox. And I know the victories mean a lot to him as a season ticket holder of the Colts. He at least needs his fantasy to play well to kind of salvage his pride. But my brother is going to change his team name to a different part of Antonio Brown's anatomy. How good is Antonio Brown, guys? we haven't seen a connection like this from quarterback to receiver. I mean, Peyton to Marvin was good. Brady to Moss was good. But in our lives, no one's done what Antonio Brown and Big Ben do on a weekly basis. I mean, I think last week, and we could click it, but I'm a stat guy. I think Brown had 12 targets, caught them all, and went for 183. I mean, it's unreal what the dude does with Big Ben, and I know Big Ben is a lot of that, but the two just it's fun to watch, is what it is. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. This is an interesting matchup here. We have two bestie friends. Luke was upset last week. I was a little critical of his team. So we'll go ahead and take a look at his team here. First of all, though, I do want to note I love Gray's running backs. Dalvin Cook, Jay Ajayi, very much like those guys. Beckham is in a weird kind of spot there, whether he's going to play or not, and Eli looked bad last week. Adam Thielen, Gray's kind of hit on some of these guys. Tyreek Hill. Gray has a pretty good team. We'll see what Russell Wilson does. But taking a look at Luke's team real quick here. Joe Mixon did nothing for him last night, but Luke's found some depth. He's found some depth, and he found some production from some guys. He wasn't sure where he was going to get it. And if you look at Luke's bench, he actually has a pretty good little team here. A lot of young receivers. We know Luke always likes young receivers, but hopefully, he doesn't get in on Diggs a week late here. But Luke actually has one of the better benches in our league. Let's see. Just first glance at his bench, I know Riddick and Galladay combined for 3 touchdowns there in that Detroit offense last week. He has Deshaun there just chilling. So I like Luke's team from top to bottom. And I tell you what, I don't know that Austin Hooper is going to have 2 catches for 130 yards. And if you didn't see his 87-yard touchdown, look it up. He stiff-armed this guy, and it was not nice at all. I like Luke's team this week. I'm not sure about going forward. I will not say that it's a wretched disgrace, like I said last week. Here we have Hide Your Children against the Lollipop Guild. Let's go. This is going to be a fun one. Jason got Jack Diddley from Lamar Miller, which any of you who have ever talked to me about Lamar Miller know I think he's a bum. Bum, not a word to use to Michael. He does not like that word. And A.J. Green, he had 1 big catch, but other than that, quiet. I mean, Andy Dalton looks horrible. Man, he just looks really, really bad. The red rocket, the red squirt gun, the red it's broken, whatever the heck it is. I mean, he just did not look good at all. Anyway, so, I know that Michael had to love the start that Jason's team got off to last night. As I've kind of said, I love Jason's team. I just don't see the touchdown upside. Matthew Stafford went off for him last week, which helped him get that win. Looking at Michael's team here, Doug Baldwin and Julio Jones can't be as bad as they were last week. And if you look at those matchups, my goodness, he's got Baldwin and Jimmy Graham. If San Francisco can score at all, that Seattle offense is in a get-right game at home. They looked horrendous last week. I watched most of that game against the Packers. They look bad. Jesse thinks the Packers defense is good. I don't know. But we'll see. I think Michael's team, especially the middle of it there, is in a bounce back spot to kind of do better this week. Rob Kelly is kind of interesting to me. I don't know what to make of that situation. Looking at Jason's team, Jason is another one who has a couple more options on his bench there. I don't know what the Deontay Foreman is eating into Lamar Miller a little bit. But, I like Macklin and Jeffrey with depth there. I agree that he's playing the right guys this week. I may consider Alshon if I were Jason, but I seem to think that Larry Fitzgerald is going to be more important in that Cardinal offense without their 50% of their offense, David Johnson. So I'm going to pick Michael here just because I think the touchdown upside's there, and I also only see 15.4 out of 2 of Jason's best 3 players. Exit music, I'm really pumped about it, guys. Today it is Lil Flip featuring Leah Sunshine. This is, I believe, from the year 2003. Take some of us back to the days of cruising around in Jesse's Thunderbird. Maybe 2004, but just a classic one. Pop the collar to make them smile, boys and girls. Hey, good luck this week, fellas. Thanks again, Trampus, for sponsoring the show. Gonna go look at my team in the trade that we made, and hoping I like it after I look at my roster. Risky. Good luck this week, boys. Have a great weekend. It's going to be beautiful weather. Get out there, enjoy it, enjoy your family. Deuces.